Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. This is your instructor Joy. Today we are going to talk about trills. Trill is this one. So the notation of trill is that you see letter TR above the note, and when you see that you would add a note above. So let's say if you have a trill on the note on G, let's say with the second finger on E string, you would add a note above, but in a fast way. So that's trill. Trill can be done in any fingers. So second and third, or first and second, or 3 and 4. At any finger it works for trills. Once we learn how to trill, often my students are wondering, how come that I cannot trill fast enough? My trill is too slow or sluggish, and I'm having a hard time fitting on time. How one could improve the trills. So I thought I'll make a video about it. I'm going to give you 5 points or 5 checklists that you can check, see whether you're on the right track so that you can improve your trill. First one, see whether your sustaining note has light fingertip. So when it comes to trill, there are 2 notes that's involved. One is played by sustaining finger, which is in this case the main note. Let's call this one sustaining note. The other one is active finger that's hitting back and forth. Yeah, that's a trilling finger, so active finger. The common mistake that I see is a lot of students tend to press the sustaining finger really hard because we feel like we have to keep it really heavy in order to keep it on. And what it does is by pressing the sustaining note really heavy, you are actually tensing up your hand, therefore your third finger is less mobile. That's why the third finger gets slower, and that's why we end up having slow trill. Yeah? So make sure the second finger is really light, or the sustaining finger is very light. You can practice that by lifting the weight off while still leaving the finger on the string, but play it until you hear almost like a whistle, which indicates your second finger, in this case sustaining finger, is very light. Then from here you secure your sustaining finger is light, then you do the trill motion. Then you will see your fingers much lighter and it's more mobile, and therefore you can speed up your trill with much easiness. Second thing to check is the trilling finger. A lot of my students, I see, they focus a lot putting the finger on. It is true, the trilling finger, it's on the fingerboard, but also it gets off the fingerboard, you see. In order to get faster, one has to focus instead of putting on the string, but you have to focus on playing off the string. That's what makes fast trill, because you have to trill with a third finger or trilling finger with an elastic movement, almost like a bouncing ball. It's not slow on and off, 2 different motion. It's a one motion. As soon as it hits, it bounces off. It's like a bouncing ball, you see. In order to create that kind of motion, one has to focus on being off the string instead of being on the string. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we're trying to get this bouncing off with a lightness, with the elastic movement, that kind of physics of with the trilling fingering. So you do, the way you practice, you just do a little play with the finger, the trilling finger, do a little bouncing motion. Again. Here, understand that you have to focus having the finger bouncing off as soon as you hit the string. If you're done, then do a couple of times. Let's try 2. And you will do that one gradually with larger number, and you should be able to train your trilling finger so nicely and smoothly so that you can trill fast with much easiness. Checkpoint 3. A lot of common mistakes that I see from my students is before they start trilling, they hold the notes quite long. So let's say if the second finger is trilling, instead of trilling right away, they hold it a bit long and play that one. And that that there's two things. Because you're holding the first note longer, you're making the sustaining note heavier, therefore tensing up your hand, which will cause sluggish, slow trill. Another thing is you're gonna run out of time. So if you're lucky that you're trilling on the last note of the piece, and you can take all the time that you like. But sometimes you have to trill between notes. In that case, if you're holding low, you're gonna be already out of rhythm. So make sure to start trilling right away without holding it. Don't hold it, trill, but start trilling right away. Right away, yeah? Now, list 4. Use reliable fingers. Use strong fingers for trilling. Of course, we want to train all our fingers so that they can trill with any fingers, especially 3 and 4. It's hard work, and we should always practice and improve our pinky trill as much as we can. But let's say you're in the process, you haven't gotten that pinky trill so nice and fluent yet. Then if you have to do, let's say A and B, instead of using weak pinky, change finger to 2 and 3 by shifting your position to the second position and use stronger finger. And then keep training your pinky. So you want to get your pinky trilling as strong as the other fingers. But for time being, for your repertoire, you want to be able to play every single technique with a strong finger so they sound nice and solid. So use strong fingers. Our last checklist to make sure your trill is nice and smooth and fast would be try not to trill as much as you can. That's something that we all sometimes do because we're so happy that we can finally trill. So we like to trill a lot. If it's for trill is on the fermata note or in the last note, then you can trill all you like. But there's a Mozart like that here. There's only very little time because its trill is on the 16th note. But if I trill too much, then I'm late, and that's a common mistake that I see a lot. So make sure don't compromise the rhythm or the musical structure just for the sake of trill. Sometimes we have to just do one trill, which is almost just like a mordant, and that's better than trill and being late. Yeah, those are 5 lists that you can check. First one, make sure the sustaining finger is light enough. Second one, the trilling finger has to focus on being bounced off, then putting on so that it moves elastically. 3, now make sure don't hold too long before you start trilling. And then 4, use strong fingers for trilling, even though it's still very, very important for all of us to train all our fingers to trill well. And last one, make sure to trill only for the right timing, not too much. Yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching. Happy trilling and happy practicing. Hope to see you again. Bye bye.